Good morning, everyone. You'd please, if you're able, rise and join me in singing. Give your heart, come as you are, come, 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 lift your voice, come, shine your light, come, now's the time, come, come. This day we made with God. Come see what love has done. Come, take a hand. Come, give your heart. Come as you are. Come, come, come. Lift your voice. Come, shine your light. Come, now's the time. Come, come. As we gather in this sacred place, Spirit meets us face to face. Come, take a hand. Come, give your heart. Come as you are. Come, come, come. Lift your voice. Come, shine your light. Come, now's the time. Come, come. Come as you are. Come, come, come. Yay.
Good morning. No, I can't. I'll have to help me in a minute. We're having a little microphone challenge, but it's all good. Okay, so before we begin, I want to take a moment to thank Robin Falkenberg, who's not here today, and Denise, who's also not here today, for doing an amazing job of holding the high watch last week while many of the women of our community were on retreat. And we also thank Robin for offering an important lesson on self-care. We also want to welcome today our guest speaker who's with us today, Reverend Dalia Adams. So it's going to be a great day. So let's begin now with our tradition of sharing the signs and words of God's peace with those around you. First by saying them together. So you can repeat after me. Shalom.
Shalom.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Pas.
Paz.
Peace be with you.
And also with you.
Okay, so you can turn to your neighbor now and choose one of those greetings. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Okay, everybody's just coming in and getting settled. Well, as you know, my name is Reverend Michelle Vargas. It says here Vicki Elder, but that's her right there. I'm Michelle Vargas, and it is my joy and honor to welcome you this morning to Unity of Monterey Bay, a beloved community co-created with love and intention that welcomes all people, all races, nationalities, cultures, and religions, whatever your immigration status, sexual orientation, gender identity, family configuration, and/or abilities. And whether you're here with us in person or you're joining us virtually, we know that love knows no boundaries and that we are one in spirit. As a purpose-driven church, Unity of Monterey Bay is an inclusive spiritual community committed to co-creating an environmentally sustainable, spiritually fulfilling, socially just, and compassionate human presence on this planet. We celebrate our oneness, and we honor the God of each of our understanding, affirming that innate good and divine essence that we know is within each and every individual. So will you please join me now in our statement of faith? There is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, expressing as infinite God beyond us, intimate God beside us, inner God being us, divine love in action. So it is. As we allow this knowing to deepen within our souls and serve to awaken us into enlightenment for the benefit of all living beings, we share this blessing by Glenn Carty. Blessed be the whisper. Blessed be the whisper, often hard to hear, but there regardless, every day. Every day, do you hear it? It's coming from the path. It's coming from the cup. It's coming from the mirror. When you walk, when you drink, by your very looks, it whispers. It whispers quietly, disturbingly. You are infused with divinity, tiny, tender, terrifying, every day. Blessed be the whisper that suggests all is not as it seems, that around the corner of our banality, our brilliance awaits.
Amen.
Breathe into that for just a moment. Our brilliance awaits. So now please join me in affirming. Thank you, God, for this most amazing day. Miracle follows miracle, and wonders never cease. And finally, as we do each and every week, we now celebrate and bless the children. All those in our families and neighborhoods and in our spiritual community, as well as the larger community, all the children around the world, and that inner child that lives within each of us. Opening our hearts wide and seeing them protected and resilient, creative and evolving, joyous and loved, as we join in our heartfelt blessing. We love you. We bless you.
We appreciate you just the way you are. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Now we have the wonderful opportunity to take a deep breath in together and let it out with an audible sigh. So let's do that together. Breathing in and sigh it out. Can we do one more this morning? Deep breath in and sigh it out. Centering ourselves to embrace this blissful inner connection with Spirit, we invite the chime to call us into the sacred space within. We ring the chime 4 times to call in the 4 directions and to remind us of our interconnection with all of creation and with the sacred circle of life. As we feel it resonate through our very beings, we follow its call into this now present moment within. Focusing on our breath, with each inhale, we open our hearts and minds. We envision our breath reaching every cell of our being. And with each exhale, we see all barriers and obstacles dissolving into the divine flow. And again, as we inhale, we expand the spaciousness within us. We move beyond the limitations and boundaries of our bodies. And as we exhale, we ground ourselves deep within Mother Earth and into our oneness with the universe. Finally, we breathe our awareness into the highest expression of love, light, joy, and peace we can imagine. As we experience a transforming wave of gratitude with a fullness of heart, we say yes to it all, embracing, claiming, and knowing the divine Christ Spirit expressing in, through, and as us. So now with a final exhale, we say, thank you, God.
Thank you, God.
Now fully centered and transformed by the power of Spirit, we enter into our lesson and meditation time with today's daily word.
We read from the July 27th Daily Word, shared with permission of Unity, publisher of Daily Word, that can also be found at dailyword.com. And the word is grow. As I live, learn, and love, I grow. Movement and growth are part of life. Just as a young sprout shoots through the soil and reaches skyward, its roots are also growing into the earth. My growth happens in much the same way. As I live and love, I share myself. Along the way, I grow in understanding as I nurture my relationships. I grow in ability as I hone my talents and gifts. I grow in knowledge as I obtain my education and pursue my interests. Just as I grow in the world, I also grow deep spiritual roots, which keep me grounded when I am coping with life's more unpleasant turns. Just as I grow in the world, I also grow deep spiritual roots, which keep, read that already. The more fully I embrace my humanity, the more I grow into the awareness of my divinity. I am blessed to grow and go with God. And from the scriptures, put these things into practice. Devote yourself to them, so that all may see your progress. 1 Timothy 4:15.
Spirits flying in the sky, thunder in the ground. Spirits flying in the sky, thunder in the ground. Wisdom of the universe, old ones teaching me. Nature's spirits singing in my heart, opening, calling me to you, only you, only you, only you, only you. Spirits flying in the sky, thunder in the ground. Spirits flying in the sky, thunder in the ground. Wisdom of the universe, old ones teaching me. Nature's spirits singing in my heart, opening, calling me to you, only you, only you, only you, only you.
In witness to the wisdom of the many paths to the sacred, we read from 3 sacred traditions on this morning's topic, our spiritual teachers. From Buddhism, the very moment is the perfect teacher, and lucky for us, is with us wherever we are. From Sufism, Ibn al-Arabi wrote, "The teacher is here who hears you, then unveils you to yourself." And from Christianity, "And God has appointed in the church first apostles, second prophets, third teachers, then deeds of power, then gifts of healing, forms of assistance, forms of leadership, and various kinds of tongues." 1 Corinthians 12:28.
God of the mystical counsel, I give myself to you. God of the first redwood forest, God of the seedling new, God of the wildflower meadow, I give myself to you. Yours is the higher power, yours is a greater plan. Finally I surrender into your loving hands. God of the suns and this fire, God of the gleaming moon, God of our earthly oasis, I give myself to you. Yours is the higher power, yours is the greater plan. Finally I surrender into your loving hands. God of this heartbeat within me, God of this gift of life, God of no end or beginning, I am yours and you are mine. I am yours and you are mine.
Am I on? Okay. So good morning to everyone. And that's the slide that introduces you guys, Unity of Monterey Bay, and me, Dalia. And today I want to talk about spiritual teachers and how important they are, at least how important they've been in my life. And I think it's also meaningful to stop and reflect on what gifts we've gotten from the spiritual teachers in our life. Excuse me. And in that, I'm going to highlight probably the most powerful spiritual teacher I've ever had, my bird, Kona. Okay. So, oh, wait a minute. This has to be on too. So many steps. Okay. Here we go. So when we think about who our spiritual teachers are, there's Charles and Myrtle and Jesus and the poets like Rumi and Kabir and Buddha, and, just so many, many teachers that have touched our lives. And in Unity, we're blessed because we're open to the teachings of so many traditions and so many people. And if you notice my dog Sachi at the bottom, my animal friends have always been important teachers. And then in the corner there's an icon, a little smiley face. And that represents the teachers that I have had, that we have all had, that are our individual teachers. For example, that smiley face represents for me my father. My father was a doctor, and when I was a little girl, he would bring me along on Sundays because he did house calls at a time when doctors were no longer doing that. And he would go visit his elderly patients, the ones who could not easily get in a car and come see him. And he'd bring me along with some of them, and especially if there was a couple, he'd say, while I'm with Mr. Jones, you speak with Mrs. Jones, and then we'll trade, because there's a secret. The time that you spend listening and talking to them and loving them is more powerful than the medicine I'm going to give. But don't tell anyone. but your job here. Okay, so he was a teacher, and he taught me. He was a doctor, so he was all about healing, but he taught me the importance of love in the healing process. And then years later, when I started on a healing path in Al-Anon, my sponsor was a beautiful, beautiful woman named Helen. And actually, she was from Santa Cruz, and I had no idea what a Santa Cruz was at the time. I lived in the Virgin Islands. And she taught me, her lesson to me was, Dalia, you have to learn to love yourself. You do a good job loving everyone else, and you keep leaving yourself out. And so, and then there was a supervisor that I had. I remember one time watching him interacting, and I'm there. He's really listening to that person, and he really cares about. I mean, it was a new thought to me that you would really listen to someone and care about them. Again, it was a lesson about love. And as I've reflected on my teachers, especially the personal ones, but also from the great teachers, there's a theme in my life. The teachers that have impacted me the most deeply, the most powerfully, have been teaching me about love. Now, love might be the most important teaching in the whole world. However, a piece of that, and this I've known throughout my life, but officially as a psychologist, that we hear the things that touch us the most deeply. In unity, or in spiritual traditions, we say, when the need is there, the teacher appears. And when I've reflected on my life, the need that I have had over and over and over is to learn about love in new and deeper ways. And almost always, the piece that touches the most deeply is, Dalia, you have to include yourself. Now, if you reflected on your own teachers, you might find a theme too. Now, it doesn't mean I haven't had teachers that taught other things. On the screen there's a man with a tie. That was the first unity minister I ever got to know. And he taught me about the power within me. And that was a huge, huge teaching. But the theme, the one that I kept coming back to, was love. Okay? And then this is Kona. And Kona taught me about love in many ways, many times, many things. And in part, she taught me about letting go. My son and I moved to Florida when I was beginning an internship in psychology, and he was going to the University of Florida as a freshman. And the summer before, we were taking a road trip up and down the coast, just sightseeing, and there was a pet shop. And he said, oh, let's stop in there, and we stopped, and there was this bird that was actually too young to be sold, but we didn't know this, in this big cage, and he went over, and she responded to him, and he says to me, Mom, can I have her? Now, he's leaving for college in 2 weeks, okay? And I said, sure, and I pull out my credit card. This was the denial that he was leaving. This was totally ignoring the fact that I was buying myself a bird that I didn't want, that I knew nothing about, but if I got him the bird, he'd stay home, right? Lesson about love, letting go, right? And so Kona and I grew up getting to know each other. Meanwhile, I looked up, this was before internet days, I looked up and I learned that no novice should ever take on a bird like this because they are the most difficult bird to ever have in the home. They're difficult to train. They're difficult to understand. And they're, oh, shoot, here we were. Okay. So fast forward a little bit. My son graduates from college, and he lands this amazing scholarship in Washington, D.C., for a master's in speech pathology, specializing in working with people who are deaf. And his scholarship, his admission came at Gallaudet University. And if anybody knows about that, that's a university that is a learning institution for deaf people from the time they're toddlers to their PhDs. And they hardly ever accept a hearing person, let alone give them a scholarship. About a year into this program, he calls me and he says, Mom, I gave back the scholarship. I withdrew from school. I want to be an artist. At this point, I have about 6 years of Unity under my belt. So I did the wonderfully evolved spiritual thing. I started screaming at him. And I screamed for about 3 or 4 months. Every time this poor guy called, I was screaming at him. And then it hit me that even if my screaming got through, they were not going to give him back his scholarship. They were not going to let him back into school. And I may as well cut it out. So I did, and we started reestablishing our relationship. And he comes home to visit. And he brings a gift. And I didn't know what it was, but that's a photograph of the portrait that he painted. It was his first painting in his new path of being an artist. Okay, so I'm in my living room. Kona is on a perch, like right here, and I can see her through, my peripheral vision. And she was always curious about everything. And just insert, this bird knew what she was saying. She didn't just parrot sounds. They have been shown to have typically the IQ of a 4-year-old child. And I think Kona was advanced. I mean, seriously, she would say those amazing things. Christmas time, a few months before this, she was on her perch, and I had the Nutcracker Suite playing, and it was back in the days of cassettes. So, one piece followed another, and it was hard to, move from one to the other. And she was on her perch, excuse me, and she was dancing to the music, perfect rhythm, stretching her wings and her legs, and the look of sheer joy on her face. And 3 or 4 cuts completed, and there was silence. And the next cut was the battle scene. And she just shuddered like that and stopped and looked around, got quiet, and yelled, "Stop it." I said, "Stop it. Stop it now." So this is the level on which she understood what she was saying. So back to this gift, I'm unwrapping this painting. She's behind me, curious. And when I unwrapped it, she literally went, "Oh, wow! Hello, Kona!" Okay. Yeah, she recognized that as a painting of herself, and her reaction was to go, "Oh, wow!" I felt like I had just been punched in my gut. And I realized, for all my Al-Anon, for all the teachings of Helen, for all the teachings that my father had taught me, for all of the 6 years of unity, there was no way in the world that if I saw a portrait of myself, would I be able, from the bottom of my gut, to say, "Oh, wow, hello, Dalia." And I'm there. After so many years of healing, of spiritual practice, of reading, of affirmation, I am a perfect child of God. I am an expression of the divine. And I believe those things up here in my head. I truly believe them. And a little bit in my heart. But this was a full body from deep in the gut. Oh, wow. And I knew I couldn't do it. And I knew in that moment that that was my spiritual path. That my purpose, my spiritual path, among other things, but the core, was in my life to get closer and closer and closer to that way of loving myself. And not only that, I was a new psychologist. And I thought that about every person that had come in to see me, in one way or another, one of the core needs was that person needed to learn to love themselves from the bottom of their hearts, from deep in their guts. So this bird not only taught me something very profound, but gave me my life's purpose, gave me my professional purpose with 2 words. Oh, wow. Oh, you did? Okay. So the next question is, oops, there we go. Okay, don't advance for me because it'll get confused. I appreciate it, but so this morning, when you got up and you looked at yourself in the mirror, how many people said, "Oh, wow"? Now, Kona didn't say my feathers are fluffed too funny, or that blue is too bright, it doesn't go with the gold. But that's what we do, right? We instantly measure ourselves according to what society says we should look like, according to what the current fashion trends are, according to how many wrinkles we see on our face, according to how our feathers are fluffed or not, right? When I see a sunset, oh wow comes so easily. And I see the glory of God, I see the divine shining through, and I go, wow. Or when I see my puppy. And so why still doesn't that deep guttural, oh wow, I'm getting better, and I feel myself on the path, and I remember this lesson just about every day. And what Kona was teaching, what she was showing me, is what all those great teachers that I had up in the first slide said. In the Bible it says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Some versions say, as you love yourself. And this was Jesus' response when a disciple asked, what is the greatest commandment? So for all of our spiritual work, all of our striving, at least Jesus thought that the greatest is love. Course in Miracles, which has also been part of my path, I love the way it captures it. It says the Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. You know, because we try to figure out what is love, what it means, and it's how to understand it rationally, intellectually. But that's not what love is. It's kind of walking around it and trying to capture some truths about it. But love itself is far deeper, more profound, and we cannot learn that. We cannot teach that. What we can teach, what we can do, is remove the blocks of the awareness of love's presence. So my journey, ever since Kona's teaching, has been the healing work of removing the fears, removing the stinking thinking, if you will, removing the things that just are not the truth about me, removing the uncertainties, removing the wounds, removing the anger, the sense of betrayal, the feeling of being a victim. Because there have been some people who've done some nasty things. I could spend a long time telling you stories. No. So removing the blocks is one of the powers that Charles Fillmore taught. It's the power of renunciation or elimination, or the power of releasing those things that no longer serve us. So on this journey, I've been discovering on a deeper and deeper level what those things are that have settled in my gut, in my shoulders, in my heart, in the back of my neck. You know, the way our body is able to feel those blocks that we carry, and it becomes a teacher and tells us what needs to be released, what needs to be forgiven. You know? Again, from the Bible, from the book of Matthew, Lord, how many times shall I forgive? Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. And in biblical terms, 7 is the number of completion. So not only do you have to forgive till it's complete, then you have to do it 70 more times. Because Jesus knew. Have you ever forgiven something and you've done all the work and you feel the lightness of having released it, and on Thursday there it is again? So your homework is to do the releasing, the forgiving, and every morning practice in the mirror with, oh wow. In fact, practice it with the people around you, you know? If we can do that for ourselves, it's so much easier to do it for the people around us. In fact, look around right now and see how many oh wows are inspired. Go ahead, look. Just oh wow, see the Christ, see that light, see that beauty, see the divinity in each and every person, because if you saw God in the person next to you, wouldn't you say, oh wow, oh wow? And wouldn't you just keep saying, oh, wow? Yeah. So I'd like to conclude with one of my favorite poets' quotes. This is shortened because I wanted to fit it on the slide. And this is from Kabir. And he said, inside this clay jug, inside this body of mine, there are canyons and pine mountains. All 7 oceans are inside, and hundreds of millions of stars. and the music that comes from the strings that no one touches. If you want the truth, I will tell you the truth. Friend, listen. The God whom I love is inside. And so what do you say to that? Kona is with, she had two people she loved, me and this other woman, and she's with the other woman. Kona did not go to seminary with me. That's when we parted ways. She liked living outdoors. Florida, that worked. Missouri. Yes, yes, she's doing well. They lived 99 years.
99 years. Wow.
So one way or the other, I was going to have to let her go.
I surrender to the love of God flowing through my life. I surrender to the love of God flowing through my life. When I teach holy love, then I know love is who I am. When I teach holy love, then I know love is who I am. I surrender to the love of God flowing through my life. When I surrender to the love of God flowing through my life.
And so as we move deeper, deeper into our time of meditation, I invite you for a little while to allow all the tension that you may be holding to soften, dissolve. I invite you for a little while to simply notice the movement of your breath. Notice how your breath feels when you breathe in and when you breathe out. You may even notice how your breath takes you a little bit deeper. Deeper to that sacred space within you. That sacred space where you meet the presence that is God. And in that sacred space, allow yourself to feel the infinite love that is God surrounding you, embracing you, filling you. And know that this love that is God is the very love that moves through your own heart This love that is God is the very love that you give to the people, the creatures that you meet in your life. Allow yourself to know that this infinite love, this tender love, this powerful love is the love that God loves you with. And it is the very love that you offer to yourself in this moment. And so for a little while, in the silence, rest in the love that is God. And so I invite you to say to yourself today, in this moment, I love the divine presence that is who I am. Today, I choose to love me with all my heart. And holding those affirmations within you, allow yourself to gently and easily bring your attention back to this room. Open your eyes. And if you're ready, look around and see the beautiful divine light shining through each and every face. Silently say, oh, wow. And know that that same divine light is shining through you right now. And then join me in saying thank you. Thank you, God.
Thank you.
Amen.
I surrender to the love of God flowing through my life. I surrender to the love of God flowing through my life.
When I teach,
I surrender to the love of God flowing through my life.
when I teach,
I surrender to the love of God flowing through my life.
And here we are at the time in our service when we can become an even more active part of the flow of God's good in the world with our tithes, our offerings, and our hearts. Unity of Monterey Bay is the collective consciousness and commitment of all of us who give of our time, treasure, and talent in order to sustain this spiritual community that is dedicated to transforming lives. We know that prosperity is a state of mind that finds blessings in every situation and abundance in joyous generosity. We transform all appearances of fear or lack into faith-filled peace of mind by shifting our attention to thoughts of gratitude for the abundance of God's good in our lives. And before the ushers come forward, anyone notice something unusual about my face? Anyone notice something unusual about my face? Yeah, I have a huge black eye. Yeah. So, one of our readings today was from Buddhism. The very moment is the perfect teacher, and lucky for us, it's with us wherever we are. Well, my lucky moment had to do with walking my dog Louie. And as we were walking down a hill, of course down, I looked to the right. He was healing on the left. I looked to the right to see a beautiful new planting that my neighbors had done, while Louie crossed over in front of me, and I went down on the sidewalk face first. So I long ago learned that there's often more to something simple. I mean, it was catastrophic, but simple, than first meets the eye. And no pun intended. And I realized that I had taken my attention off the thing that mattered, which was walking safely with my dog, and took it somewhere else. It was particularly profound in that I've been struggling keeping my attention on what really matters in some much more important areas in my life. And often what happens, I find, when I screw up like that is the universe speaks softly a few times. I had been warned. I'd almost tripped several other walks. And then if I don't pay attention, which I did not, I get walloped. So this was my wallop moment. The ushers, please come forward. I now invite you to think of something specific you're grateful for in this moment. And now, with our hearts and minds overflowing with gratitude, we breathe into the divine flow of God's good, trusting that we are enough, that we have enough, and that there is always enough to both have and to share. For those of you who give online through our website or have set up monthly auto payments from your bank or give by credit card, we are grateful. We ask that you join us in faith and gratitude as we pass the offering basket this morning by holding and blessing the basket as it passes to you. And now please join me in our offertory blessing. I am an open channel for God's infinite good, divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies everything I give and everything I receive. I am both blessed and a blessing. Thank you, God.
Everywhere I look, I see God in everything. Deep inside and all around me, God in everything. I can feel it in my beating heart. God creation, beautiful and free. God in everything. God in everything. God in everything.
It is with great joy that we bless and give thanks for these gifts and offerings that demonstrate our collective commitment to the spiritual work of love and transformation in our lives and in our world. We dedicate this offering, our lives, and this ministry to more fully expressing the Christ light that is the truth of our being and inviting all people to know God's love. Finally, knowing that one with God all things are possible, we affirm together that the good is now, the rest is blessed, and the best is yet to be in our lifetime, gently. Thank you, ushers. So for our awesome music today, we want to thank Gordon Burnham, the late Michael Stillwater, Daniel Namod, Suryadas, and Denise Rosier, and of course our awesome music team being led today by Sue, and with Marianne and myself. And I would like to just thank Dalia again for that really powerful story. Mm-hmm. And yeah. And such a joy to be able to sit and receive a sermon rather than always, I needed that today, and I'm really grateful. I often, when Dalia's here, it's not necessary for there to be 3 ministers here, and so it's often a time I take off, but I'm so glad I came today. I will not soon forget that story. Check your e-blast because there is lots of fun coming up. There are still 3 more summer dinner events that you can sign up for in Sacred Grounds, including this coming Saturday, August 1st, Martha Price's Puzzle Party and Mexican Fair. I did not realize that, but that's taking place here downstairs. So,
What time?
I don't have the time.
What time?
12 to 3.
12 to 3. On August 22nd, a Mid-Eastern dinner hosted by John and Kathy with Linda and Howard. And on September 26th, a patio barbecue and music hosted by Marianne and Sue. So you can find out more about all of that, sign up, and buy tickets in the Sacred Grounds. So we're so fortunate to have Dalia with us today, and she is going to be offering a workshop after the service on our spiritual teachers. So going more deeply into today's theme, Dalia, is that what we're doing?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I wasn't listening.
Stop talking. Is that what we're going to be doing, is going deeper into today's lesson? Sure. Okay, cool. So that is going to be right after the service. It's a $20 suggested love offering, but as always, please do not let finances deter you from attending. And I guess we're having a potluck lunch?
It was in the heat blast, and so
okay.
Whatever we have down there is what we'll
Okay, cool. Next Sunday, 1 week from today, Karen Drucker, whose music we use all the time and we love so much, is going to be our guest speaker as well as musician. So that's going to be a great service. Please plan to come. Perfect time to bring someone new with you to church, a friend or a neighbor, that person you've been thinking about bringing. It's going to be a really, I want to say high energy, but not in a crazy way, but it's going to be a very rich service, I'm sure, with her music as well as her message. So don't miss that. And then she will also be doing a concert after the service. So that's, again, a great time to bring someone. Our Spooky Celebration Anniversary Banquet is Friday, October 23rd. You can sign up for that in the Sacred Grounds. We need to start collecting auction items. So Martha is our auction coordinator. I'm her deputy. So if you have questions about what makes a good auction item, or questions about how you can solicit auction items, such as gift certificates from services like massage or restaurants or things that you frequent yourself, please see Martha. She has got a little spiel on how to do that, right? Are we doing?
Yeah, I'll bring flyers next.
Okay. She's going to bring information about how you can, what's a good way to go about soliciting those things from folks. Thank you, Martha. All right. I think that's it. As we bring our service to a close today, we're just so, yes, John Ruiz.
I want to just thank Larry and Martha for putting up the new lights.
For the lights.
Thank you.
Larry and Martha, thank you for putting up new lights. Am I illuminated? Like, remember Touched by an Angel? Bing! And the little halo would come up. That'd be cool if we could do that. Would you guys work on that, please? I'd like a halo to appear while I'm preaching.
Yeah, we'll probably be taking them off.
Okay.
We're going to change these ones.
I don't know. Let's discuss that at another time and place. But if it's your first time with us, we're just so glad that you joined us, and make sure you get information from our ushers. And whether you're here with us in person or joining us virtually or watching later on YouTube or however you found us, we're just glad that you did find us. We hope we made you feel comfortable and welcome in our community, and we want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. Our chaplain today is Sue. She is available to pray with you after the service. So thank you, Sue, and thank you to all of our prayer chaplains for holding the high watch for our community. Before we form our closing circle, let's do our responsive reading for our nation. We believe in the sacred potential of our country and the divine intelligence guiding its path.
We affirm that wisdom, compassion, and justice are rising in the hearts of all people.
In a world that cries out for healing, we listen deeply for spiritual truth.
We open to the wisdom that leads to wholeness for all.
We do not surrender to fear, division, or despair.
We anchor ourselves in faith, courage, and shared humanity.
We call forth leaders who are guided by integrity and vision.
We affirm solutions that uplift both personal freedom and collective care.
May this nation grow in love, unity, and awakening.
And may we each be instruments of peace, justice, and joy.
And all the people said, Amen. Let's form our closing circle. Now, is Kona a macaw?
Yes,
A macaw.
a blue and gold macaw.
Blue and gold macaw. Okay. Okay. Does everybody know? Maybe everybody doesn't know. Okay, so this morning, as we form this circle of prayer and love, let's hold in the center of it Vicky's sister, Karen, who had a little episode and had to go to the hospital, but she's back home now and she's doing well and getting medications adjusted. Gave us all a good scare at the women's retreat, but let's just hold her in this circle so that she knows that she is loved and that she is held in loving presence. And just lifting her up and sending her all of our loving energy for healing, for strength, for recovery, and seeing her as whole and perfect and complete just as she is. As you hold that vision of Karen, please join me in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I forgot Church of the Wild is today at 2. Okay, go. That's okay.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you.